Yeah.
So, do these guys remember we went to six?
I'm
Ready? You're ready.
Yep.
No.
Somebody echoing or you messing around?
Somebody has their sound on?
Not me.
My sound's off.
Somebody fixed it. Somebody quietly fixed it.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay.
Guess we're ready to go then. Good evening, everybody. This is the select board meeting for December 19th. And we start with a reminder to everybody that we're video recording this, and we take a moment to appreciate our troops who are serving around the world. Thank you. We start with a appointment with a public hearing solicitor's license, Sunrun, Jake McGrath.
Yeah, let me, Jake is on Zoom, so let me promote Jake.
Okay, thank you.
Hey,
Hi, Jake.
Hey, Jake.
how you guys doing?
Good. Still got an echo.
We still have an echo. You know, it's coming
Hi,
out here.
Jake. So why don't you give us the rundown on what
You
it
gotta-
is?
You got to declare a
Oh,
public hearing.
we'll declare the hearing open. Thank you, sir. Jake, why don't you give us a rundown on what it is that you're looking to do?
So I'm looking to get a solicitor's license so I can sell some solar panels, save the planet.
Okay, so you're doing door-to-door solicitation?
Yes, sir.
And what days of the week, what hours do you plan to do it?
I plan on doing it every day of the week, maybe with the exception of Mondays, but definitely Tuesday through Sunday. Sometimes I take Monday off. And as far as the hours go, Saturday is usually all day, and up until probably 8 p.m.
Gus, do you have any questions, comments?
Well, one more question. The dates that you're requesting this for, we usually give these for not more than 3 months. So I'm wondering, is it January to March? When do you want to start?
As soon as possible. I was told you guys only do like 3 months at a time.
Yep.
License. So I guess we can do from whenever we can get this rolling to 3 months from there.
Well, so you want to start tomorrow? Like, are you going to start before the holidays or?
I'd love to start as soon as possible.
We can start tomorrow as far as I'm concerned, do it for 3 months. So that's point one. Point two, though, is that given that this is the winter time, I'm thinking the question I would have, and I'd ask Eileen and Pete, you're asking to go till 8 p.m. We usually only go till dusk. And it's probably, if you're literally going door to door, walking around in the dark, knocking on people's doors at 8 p.m. at night, is probably not going to even be very good for you. Well, so the issue usually what we, in the wintertime, we might have it only go to something like 5 p.m. because it actually gets dark right now at 4, but in another month or two, it'll be light. But 8 o'clock at night is pretty late to be walking around knocking on people's doors in the wintertime.
8 is typically the time I'd like to be home with my wife, but 6 to 8 is where the money's at. That's when people are coming home, especially during the week. Saturday and Sunday, obviously, people, they're home all day, but as far as, getting people in front of you and speaking with people, 6 to 8 is usually where the money's at. And I like to say, just doesn't start to the meeting late.
You may find some people here in town that would differ with you on that one. You guys, what do you think? I'm not inherently unwilling to move, but I think ordinarily we kind of expect people to show up in the light, not knocking on doors at night in the dark.
Yep.
If I may, typically my company likes to train us on how we can be less sketchy when it comes to these winter hours.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I have, I still have a badge. I have a badge for the badge. We don't wear any dark clothing or hats. We make sure, you know, our iPads lights are on so that the homeowners can see our face when we're at the door. You know, we don't stand directly on their doorstep. We take a few steps back. We try to do certain things that make it seem a little less sketchy. Some of us wear, you know, flashlights or have like their iPhone light on, to illuminate, you know, the lower half of their body while they're holding their iPad. But yeah, we're actually trained on knocking once you're done. Because it is a little sketchy, I completely understand.
So here's my take, is I give Jake credit, he's a hustler, right? Because there are other people, if you recall the gentleman that came in and said, I only want to work from like 8 to 4 or whatever. So I don't want to knock it. The only thing I will put out there, Jake, is if we get calls, which the one thing I'm going to massively highlight to you is there are some Medfield residents that have no solicitor's signs on their property. So please make sure you pay attention to that. And if it's going to be dark, the one thing I'm going to really want to make sure you're careful about is when you're approaching, look for that, because that'll be the first red flag that'll come back to us. Because as select board members, we'll get emails that say, hey, you know, so-and-so is approaching us. And then that would push us to say, let's stop at 5. But I applaud that if you're looking to try to do 1 to 8, I think I might have had one of your coworkers at my house this past, I forget when night I was heading out, maybe Friday, and it was getting later, and to your point, he was well lit up, he did back away, it wasn't a good time for me, and all he said was, look, can I come back and try to reschedule? So that's what you know, again, it's your job to do what you're doing, it's not my job to tell you your hours, it's just, I'll put that caution out there, and that would be the only reason we would reach back to you to say, you know, we're hearing negative comments, but in the meantime, you know, go at it, and then, you know, people may ask you to come back later in the day at another time in the week, you know, your call. But I think that, Gus, I don't have a large problem with it as long as he's aware of some of the things that we've heard in the past from residents.
Anything else?
So
The only thing I'm gonna be careful with too is Saturday, did I hear you say you're gonna go to 8 PM on Saturdays?
Typically I like to go home. I like to be home at 8 p.m. So I tend to play it off 7:15, 7:30, and then I drive back here to Framingham.
Okay.
So 8 p.m. is just that. 6 to 8 is just where the money. That's when people come from home, they cook dinner, they get ready. So, but what we do in other towns is, I'm not sure if you guys do it here, but we call the police department and we let them know exactly where we're knocking and what time we'll be doing. So
Okay.
if they do get a call, they know it's us.
Okay. Yeah, as long as you're calling the police, I know that's one of the big things that we all ask.
sure, that's a requirement. Pete, I'm still not comfortable going till 8.
I'm not
Eileen is,
either.
So you're, okay. So it's one thinking it's too late, one thinking it's okay. Where do you come out?
I think that's too late.
Okay. You know, I'd be okay with 6,
Yeah, I would go with 6 too. I would suggest that's a more appropriate time.
right? Yeah. Let's make it 6. Yep. Say again? Well, yeah, that's true. 4 o'clock is when it's dark right now. I said 6 because it's 3 months, and I figured that in 3 months' time, it won't be dark at 6, but we could make it dark, but then you're going to wind up ending at 4 right now, and you won't get till 6 till next March. I was willing to let the line play out a little bit here. But I'm not, I don't think the folks in this town are going to appreciate having people knocking on their doors at 7:30 or 8. You know, I respect that if you're saying what you're saying, I gather that that's your experience. It really works well to catch people just as they're coming home while they're cooking dinner.
That's when people are getting dinner and putting their kids to bed, and that's a tough time of day for people with young children.
I think what happens though is it's not trying to close the deal. It's trying to get the warm body to say, not a good time, gives Jake the opportunity to say, then when is a good time I can come back? And then he can start doing his scheduling. So it's not so much taking an hour out of their evening, but it's getting that they're home, so he has the ability to get a warm body. That's just my spin on it. I think it's a
Yep.
sales background in me, sorry.
Yep. Well, I think the two of us that think that 6 is the right time, Jake, so,
You've been pretty consistent with everybody up till now that it'd be done just at dusk, so
Right.
yeah,
you've actually given him more
Right.
leeway than the others.
yep, we are.
And then some of the other ones have started earlier, so I noticed on his paperwork, he's doing 1. So I think a lot of the other ones are saying they were starting at 10 or starting at 11. So that was the other reason why I was looking at the hours of operation. But, you know, I'm not, if you guys are saying 6, I get it. I just, understanding where he's coming from and his.
Yeah, I mean, if you hadn't made as strong an argument as you just made, we've typically, to Mark's point, we've typically basically said, go to dusk when it gets dark out, not do it. You're the first person to push back, but it sounds like you push back because you've had experience that gave you a reason to push back. So we're willing to try that out, but it may turn out you're right, but right now, I think at least both Pete and I are not comfortable going all the way to 8 o'clock, but we'll see how it works going to 6. If that's probably, we're splitting the difference with you. If you normally would be going till 7:30 and closing out, we're not, you can go solid to 6 on this one, so. Okay? Okay.
All right, then we'll close the hearing.
We just, to be clear, then the dates starting tomorrow,
December 20th?
December 20th out through March 20th.
Well, I think we need a motion and a
I
vote on
just
it.
want to make sure I got the parameters here. That works for you?
That works for me.
Okay.
So, motion to approve, Jake McGrath with Sun Run to, solicit Tuesday through Sunday, 1 to 6 PM weekdays and 9 AM to 6 PM weekends.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, aye. Thanks, Jake. Appreciate you
Jake.
coming.
Thank
Good
you.
luck. Our second item is a vote to approve the ABCC application for amendment, change of corporate name for Takara Group, Inc. to TM1 Group, Inc. This is just is this a change of ownership?
It's a
or-
corporate, just a
Yeah,
corporate
it's just a
name
change of
change.
corporate name.
It's not even ownership change.
Yeah, all right, so it's not an ownership change. All right. Any questions, Gus?
Yeah. Testing. All right.
Thank you.
I didn't have any questions that would influence my willingness to approve this, but I did have a question. Takara has the Medfield location, but it also has one in Wellesley, and I was curious from, are you here for this one? Oh, okay, all right, good, okay. All right, good. So this was just curiosity. I know there's Takara in Wellesley, and I know there's Takara in Medfield. This is only for Takara in Medfield, which I suspect has to do with the fact that you have a liquor license here in Medfield. But it was just curious, is it just this one restaurant that's changing its name, or is this group actually, I don't know if there's more Takara restaurants than those two. There's only two I don't know
So
about.
before you answer, you need to use a microphone so the people at home can hear you, so either up here or,
And I was just asking out of curiosity, so, okay, sure. It works.
it's
a
just for
pickup on
it's for the people at home.
Be here. Yeah, we have like 4 locations in the Boston area.
Okay, yep,
So one in the Canton, Medfield, Wellesley, and Wayland.
okay.
So, yeah.
And you're changing the name of the
Yeah,
corporation
we
that
just
covers
changed
all
the
4 of them. You're just
corporation.
putting 4 applications in.
Yeah.
Okay,
And then we just escort to C-Corp, that's all.
Mhm.
Yeah, everything else is all same, so.
okay, that's all. I was just a curiosity question, so,
Thank you.
okay, sure.
So still the same good rolls and everything?
Yeah.
All right, that's important. because
That's it.
It's my favorite sushi place, so it's
Thank you.
sweetie roll. If you guys want an inside roll, I'm telling you, get a sweetie roll. It's really-
We love to be here. We've been here like 15 years in the town, so.
Well, we're glad you're here.
And Canton would be the Canton like 22, 23 years. So.
Yeah. Okay.
We love everybody in the family here too, so.
Glad to hear it's working out for you.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Are there any questions?
No, I'm glad to hear that there's really no change in hands, it's just change of name, so everyone can expect the same. Great food, great service. Awesome.
Thank you, yeah, love to be here.
I'm good too then, so do you want to make a motion on that?
All right, motion to vote to approve the ABCC application for amendment, change of corporation name for Takara Group, Inc. to TM1 Group, Inc.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye,
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank
aye.
you.
Thanks for coming.
Happy holiday, guys.
You
David,
too.
thank you.
Our third item is board and committee appointments. First, under that is appoint Jackie Alford to the Transfer Station and Recycling Committee as an associate member. And B is to accept resignation of Kirsten Fuller from the Medfield Historical Commission. Any questions
No
about
questions.
these?
Nope.
Eileen? Do we have a motion then for both of them?
So I motion to appoint Jackie Alford to the Transfer Station and Recycling Committee as an associate member. And unfortunately, we will be accepting the resignation of Kirsten Fuller from the Medfield Historical.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, aye. Then, fourth item is vote to sign the following, A, contract with E.L. Harvey and Sons, Inc. to perform work to provide single-stream recycling, disposal, recycling, box containers, and trucking hauling for the materials collected from the transfer station as needed. B, contract with Stumpy's Tree Service, Inc. to perform tree maintenance and removal work. C, contract with Green Mattress Recycling, Inc. to perform mattress recycling work. Questions, Gus?
I have a couple. And Mo's not here, so I can't plague him with the questions, and maybe Christine, you know.
You may have given me some background information. so-
Just was, so on E.L. Harvey and the Stumpies, I was only curious about how the rates have changed. I assume the rates have changed, and I was just curious.
Well prepped me. For E.L. Harvey, the last 2-year contract we had was $90 a ton. It's going to $96.50.
Okay.
And for trucking, the prior contract was $195 for each haul, and it's now, the new proposed rate is $210. The container rental at 55 stays the same.
Okay.
And then Stumpy's, the prior rate was $440 per hour. And the brush removal was $220 an hour and went to $230. Stump grinding went down from $110 per hour in the last contract to now $50 per hour. And then the log truck with operator was $120 and has now gone to $195.
Okay, and the first category, I think, went up significantly.
$440 to $490.
440 to 490, okay. So that's the first part. Next, on the green mattress recycling contract, the contract term in our contract states that it starts on January 1st, 2023 and runs till December 31st, 2024. So I'm guessing that either we're seeing this contract halfway through its execution or there's an error there.
It's an error. It should be 2024.
So it's a one-year
It's a one-year
contract, should be
contract.
2024.
2024.
Okay, and then the other comment I'll make is that in all three of these contracts, in the materials, it's the boilerplate forms that accompany it, you know, that the person signing, all the legal stuff that's at the back, which is pages 24 of our packet. It's pages 24 and 25, 33 and 34, and 42 and 43. Those are all those are not signed. So we're signing the contract, but the actual paperwork that says yes, we've been authorized to sign all the legal paperwork that confirms that they are in fact able to sign the contract with us. None of that's filled out.
We'll make sure that gets.
So as long,
It's filled out. We got the second.
oh, Brittany, you're good. Okay. As long
Mo dropped them off today. So you're all-
okay.
He's
then
been
I-
a little busy in the last 36 hours.
Yeah, yep, no, that's fine. I will withdraw my semi-disparaging comments about my forms on contracts. That's good. Okay, those are my only questions.
Eileen?
It's, the only question I have is, for the contract with Green Mattress Recycling, the new regulation went into effect last November 1st, if I'm not mistaken. And it was a citizen brings a mattress down, box bring a mattress, and $40 fee. Is that fee going up to the residents? Is it staying for? Okay, that's what I couldn't figure out in this contract. Because they're picking up, they're saying $35 a unit, and I thought we weren't making any profit last year, we were just passing it.
I think it's just for the processing we have to use.
Okay, yeah, okay.
I've got no questions, so can we get a motion then, please?
We cannot, and I'll do all three. Okay, motion, vote to sign the following contract with E.L. Harvey and Sons to perform the work to provide single-stream recycling disposal, recycling box containers, and trucking and hauling of the material collected from the transfer station as needed. Contract with Stumpy Tree Service to perform tree maintenance and removal work. and contract with Green Mattress Recycling Inc. to perform mattress recycling.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye, aye. Fifth item, vote to accept the application for liquor, common victulars, entertainment, and Class 2 motor vehicle sales licenses, a list of which is attached to this agenda. Any questions about those, Gus?
I didn't have any questions.
Eileen?
No, I noticed on there, the only thing I did pick up on is, like, for example, I don't see, the new Nosh and Grog, that won't be going on there yet, they have to come to present to us. So they have only existing restaurants.
Right.
Okay,
But it was good to see Chipotle listed.
Well, they got one last year too, so.
Oh.
oh, we won't get that.
So if you want to expedite this, I would only recommend that you read the alcohol licenses into the record, and then the others you can refer to the, like the common
Attachment.
vics,
Okay,
amusement, and class 2, you can refer to the attached list.
all right. Do you want to craft a motion along those lines then, Eileen, please?
If I'm gonna read it, just give me 1 second, it's not in our packet here, so, I mean, in the sheet, we have to find it in my packet, which, it was in the original one, and in the second version.
You're,
we go
you're
right to
getting a,
ditch.
yeah, copy delivered to you.
Sorry.
It just appears out of,
I've got work I can
Oh,
do.
the
The
ether.
previous one had it, so just now it's version 2. That's what we-
Thanks, Brittany.
All right, so which, you want me to just read the all alcohol?
Each category and list them because they actually have to be referred to the ABCC, so
Okay,
I
all
want to
right, so
record.
the, I motion to accept the application for liquor, common particular, and entertainment and class, oh, we're gonna do not the motor vehicle ones yet, so, okay, so just the
Move to
alcohol.
renew the alcohol license as follows. Restaurant all alcohol beverage, read them down, then package store, read them down, package store, wine and malt. And it ends with the farmer series.
Thank you,
And
Mr.
be-
Sorrell.
Before we go to the, actually do have a question. A place like Cutlets, that's not on this list, but is that because they don't have seating? Is it?
They're gone.
Correct.
I think they're
They don't
gone.
have any
Yeah,
A
you're
common,
looking at the
common
top.
Vics is defined as food to be consumed on the premises,
Okay,
which
okay.
means seating.
okay.
But they are also closing.
Are they? Oh,
So they could just have a Board of Health certificate.
okay.
All right, so we vote to accept the alcohol license renewal for the following restaurants. Avenue Restaurant, LLC, doing business as Avenue. Tom McGue, Inc., doing business as Basil. Grand Mandarin, Inc., doing business as Gin Gardens 2. Kingsbury Club, Medfield, Inc. Noon Hill Partners, LLC, doing business as Noon Hill Grill. Takara Group, doing business as Takara. Just keep, okay. Move to approve the package store, all liquor, excuse me, all alcoholic beverages, Bullard's Market and Package Store, Inc., Medfield Package Store, Inc., Vet Package Store, Inc. The package store, wine and malt, Gulf Resources, doing business as Medfield Commons, M. Carroll, Inc., doing business as Medfield Wine Shop, and the Farmer Series pouring permit, Seventh Wave Brewing, Inc., and Farthest Star LLC, doing business as Farthest Star Sake.
Do we have a second on that? All those in favor? Aye, aye.
Aye.
Excellent. And then, can you craft a motion for the rest of them, please?
So motion, but I'm not gonna read through, I don't need to do
No.
it, Vic. Motion.
No, because they all pretty much stay local.
Okay, all right, so motion to approve the common victor license renewal for, vic license and amusement license and class 2 motor vehicle sales license renewals,
As stated in the agenda.
as stated in the agenda.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye, aye. Thank you. 6, vote to allow Palumbo Liquors to open at 10 a.m. on December 24, 2023, and December 31 on 2023.
This comes up every year, and my question is the same every year. We're doing it for just this one
But it's a
liquor
Sunday.
store, because I think it's the only one that wants to, right?
Correct.
So it's not that we're, we would do it for anybody. They're the only ones that want
They're the
to.
only ones who've requested it.
And it's a Sunday, right? That's why
Yeah,
it's the 10,
Sunday.
because it would normally
Right.
be noon.
And in some years, there have been restaurants that have asked at Thanksgiving to stay open later.
Yep.
But they haven't been doing that recently.
I'm good.
Okay, that's,
Good.
I'm fine, yeah.
Yep, you're good?
I'm good.
I'm good too,
All
so
right,
please.
Motion to vote to allow Palumbo's Liquor to open on 10 a.m. on Sunday, December 24th, 2023, and Sunday, December 31st, 2023.
All those in favor?
Second.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, aye. Number 7, vote.
Number 7, we're actually gonna hold on number 7. I had a question on the contract, and Frank and I need to have a conversation before we move it forward, so.
Okay, number 8, vote to sign extension amendment with the Collins Center for the ongoing class and compensation study.
You're good with going forward with that?
That's fine, yep.
Okay.
We do need to extend that. We're still working with them. We anticipate the first results of the study to come back towards the end of January, so that one we're moving forward on.
No question.
Any
Good
questions?
with that.
Me too.
All right, motion to vote to sign the extension amendment with the Collins Center for the ongoing class and compensation study.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye, aye. And Eileen, I'll let you handle this next one, number 9, because I'm involved with the Medfield Foundation Board.
So,
I'll recuse myself, but
okay, vote to accept Park and Recreation gift from the Medfield Foundation in the amount of $1,448.27.
But no question on my part. I move to vote to accept the Parks and Recreation gift from the Medfield Foundation in the amount of $1,448.27.
All right, all those approved?
Number second?
Aye. What's that?
Do we hear a second?
Oh, yeah, we have to go back and forth on that, huh? Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
and just note that I've recused myself, please. And number 10, vote to accept Council on Aging gifts from various donors totaling $105. Carol Cody for $50, Maureen Murphy for $5, and Nancy Brace for $50. Any questions?
Love that. All right,
It's just, the only thing is the processing, this is new, right? We haven't been doing this.
Correct. This is the correct process.
Okay.
And so we are going to, we will have a new section on your agenda moving forward. Where action items, consent agenda, that will be gifts so that we can expedite those gifts
Okay.
that we're receiving.
So what'll be interesting is to see if we get more charitable giving from people who like to be recognized in select board meetings, or we get less because they have their names called out in public. But
So then we'd have to do a double-blind study and actually read the names, Gus, and not
Well, you
read the
just did.
names. And
We have a lot of
But we're gonna
anonymous gifts, a lot of
all right,
anonymous.
maybe there'll be a lot of anonymous gifts. Okay. No questions.
Eileen, any
All right,
questions?
so we, motion to accept Council on Aging gift from various donors totaling $105. Carol Cody, $50, Maureen Murphy, no relation, 5, and Nancy Bryce for 50.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, aye. Number 11, vote to sign Tree City application for calendar year 2023. We're getting that in just under the wire, huh?
Very much. Thank you for going out to plant our tree in the cold. We appreciate it. We will try to shoot for summer next year. This will actually be our 11th year for Tree City, so.
Yeah, I didn't plant it, just for the record.
Right, you just,
I just said words.
ceremony.
Read the proclamation. The DPW did all the hard work of planting the tree.
Tree City ceremony.
Where did the DPW plant it?
Is it the cemetery?
Like Vine Lake, if you were to go down where the columbarium is, so if you were to come in the the 109 entrance and go around the pond, just as you get to the columbarium on your left, the road split. You can go straight by the columbarium, or you could bear right at that corner. Right now, you wouldn't recognize it because the leaves now really have all fallen off, but there's a yellow. I just happened to look at it today, and there's just a little yellow ribbon fluttering in the wind off one of the branches. So
Oh,
that's
okay.
it. And it's a shoot. What is it? Do you remember? It's a
Brittany,
oh shoot. It's
what's
a
our
pink.
tree?
It's a
Magnolia.
magnolia. And what color?
Oh,
Yellow. It's a
look at
yellow magnolia. Yeah, I think that's why the yellow ribbon's there, so you can get the color effect.
Thanks again, Brittany.
Good.
So,
Motion to-
vote, we needed to vote,
Yes, we
yes,
did.
so go ahead.
Motion to sign the Tree City application for calendar year 2023.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye, aye. Next item, number 12, vote to accept Dish Wireless LLC's bid for the Mount Nebo Water Tower Wireless Facility site request for proposal. Any questions? Gus?
No questions.
Eileen?
No, and I sent Frank an email. I really appreciate the email that he forwarded on to us from the gentleman giving us some more background. So
Yep.
I absolutely support this.
David Maxon is very knowledgeable.
Yes, I appreciate
Yes.
it.
And I don't think he even lives,
He is the wireless advisor to the board, so.
Yeah, so no, he was, I
Yeah.
appreciated his insight.
Mhm.
And
Alright,
and I
so
and I don't think
motion-
David even lives in town anymore.
He has moved out of town, but he is still willing to help us out on these situations, so.
Good man.
All right, motion to accept the Dish Wireless LLC bid for the Mount Nebo Water Tower Wireless Facilities site request for proposal.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Number 13, vote to sign the contract with Laserfish for scanning image indexing, processing service, and cloud enterprise content management for the land use department files. Gus, questions?
So, yeah, so there's easy business forms. There's three, when I went through that whole thing, I just need to understand, in all that contract documentation, there were three different companies that were called out. And I couldn't tell whether it was three contracts, whether it's three legal names for one company and one contract. So I didn't understand the configuration on that. And then a minor administrative point, again, on page 81 of our packet, which I can probably tell you what page of that contract it is, but it refers to the city or town of Peekskill picking up all our
Oh,
materials.
yeah.
That's like.
Unless
the
that was
quick deleting.
intentional, I think there's an administrative
We'll
mistake.
fix that.
We're just seeing if we're on our toes or not.
Yeah, so there's three separate contracts. The first one is for the 9,872 that sets up the document management system. And that is paid for by the grant.
That's eBiz
Yep.
docs.
And then the next one is the 57,750. And that is to scan in the planning and zoning department files, also paid for by the grant.
Chris, how many files are we scanning in? How many years worth?
I think we're going back to
I think it said before
Pre-2000,
2000.
right?
2000, yeah. And the last contract for 11,202 is for indexing all of those scanned documents, also paid for out of the grant. So this was an $80,000 grant that you accepted under the Community Compact Program about a
Okay.
year and a half ago. So what we're doing with this program is it will, the Capital Budget Committee has approved the OpenGov software, so we'll be transitioning to that platform online. Maria's here to correct me. We need a lot of help this evening. The most exciting part about this project and why we're really excited about OpenGov is that as a resident, contractor, anybody doing work with the town, you're going to be able to go on and see all of the permits,
Yay.
any information on each file, so people can do their research and look at the planning and zoning decisions by parcel, by address. So we're really excited. Maria, Brittany, Owen have really run with this project, so it's fantastic.
No,
Yeah.
that's good.
Maria, did you have anything to add? If you have to go to a microphone, remember? Thank you.
Not really much to add. I did run the calculations for how much we're scanning, and it's files dating back to like the 1950s. It's 220,000 pages worth of information. That's 83 boxes, I think. So it's massive undertaking. We're starting with planning and zoning, and my goal is to also bring in conservation and building in phase 2 through more grant fundings. But we hope to include most of our records into this database management system. So when a homeowner asks any question about his property, we can say, here's a conservation subfolder, planning and zoning, building. So we'll be able to pull up anything they need, and so will they. So I think it'll increase government transparency and also intercommunication between departments, because we'll have access and be able to review each other's files. So I think that'll be awesome.
So Maria, how far back is this project going? This is going back to 2000?
1950s. So we have,
We just heard 2000 a minute ago, so.
Pre-2000.
Pre-2000.
Oh, all right. I
so
didn't hear
we're
the pre.
dividing the scope between files that most of the effort will be focused on everything before the year 2000, but we do have some files, not as many, that are located here in Town Hall for the last 20 years. So we're going to start as far back as we can and then move our way up. A lot of them, ever since Sarah started, we have some things that have been scanned, so it's less daunting to go through. I don't have to go to storage and sort through stuff, so lots of
And
information.
will it be categorized? Like, I know today, if I was to go on the website and go look up something with, let's say, ZBA or whatever, and you just have to randomly go page after page. It's not it's not alphabetical. It's not by year. So will this company be providing that? So if someone goes to look up something, you know, let's say my parents lived here in 1979. I know we put in a pool. Like if I wanted to go see the paperwork that would have been provided, will I be looking up records by year, strictly by address? How's that gonna work, do you know?
So I think we're going to do it by address. That's when I was in Sharon, we had a pretty extensive Google Drive.
Okay.
Addresses can change. Parcels do get divided, but
Sure.
for the most part, it's the most intuitive way for people to find their information. The other option is parcel ID, but same problem, that may change. So, and people don't know their parcel IDs. So, and they will be categorized. I think the software, that's what we're paying, I think 11,000 for indexing services. They will go through our documents one by one and tag them. It uses SQL for those of you who are familiar with programming, but it's pretty easy to filter things through, but I'll be able to find like plumbing permits, or it'll scan the documents and read what's in them. And if I can type in something, even if there's no tag, it'll pull it up because it recognizes the text. So it's pretty exciting.
Yes, excellent. All right, you guys
We're
good?
geeking out over this. We're like
Yeah,
super
yeah.
excited about this whole thing.
What was really funny is the company that's doing it is like Elm Grove up in Rochester, New York, which is my first office for Kodak.
No way.
Literally, they have revitalized that whole area. It's just not a lot of Kodak up there. All right, so we're good?
We're good.
We're good.
So we'll
Oh,
motion
thank you.
to vote, no, thank you. To sign the
Thanks,
contract
Maria.
with Laserfish for scanned image indexing, processing service, and cloud enterprise content management for the land use department files.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, aye. Number 14, vote to sign the Blake Middle School and Memorial Elementary School's power purchase agreement and lease for parking lot canopy solar systems with Select Energy Development LLC.
So let me just explain this because you don't have it in your
Right, right.
packet.
Yep.
And Byron is on here, so Byron, correct me or step in it. I will allow you to talk so you can. There you go. Byron, who is working with Select, has been working with the school council, and they have been working up until I think they were still negotiating the contracts today and changing some language. So I don't have the final contracts for you yet. However, we are under a deadline to sign these before December 31st in order to qualify for all of these energy credits. Byron had asked if I would recommend to you that you vote to sign the contracts pending the resolution between councils, and that you would have a chance to review them before you actually sign them before December 31st. So if you're comfortable doing that, we can go that approach. The other one is we can have a short meeting next week on Zoom once I have the documents finalized, maybe on the 28th or the 29th. I did receive, Pete, I saw your email, but I didn't see it till about 5:06, so I haven't even had a chance to read it yet. But Fred Davis has some questions about the contracts since he didn't get to see them in the packet either. So
I think he was sharing data that would be helpful to us in evaluating what Select was offering, is the way I understood what
Yeah,
Fred
and
had shared.
I haven't had a chance to process that. I did send it to Byron and to Susan McPhee for them to take a look as well. So it's up to you how you want to proceed this evening. And Byron, if you want to speak. Or not. It's fine. It's fine. Brittany, no.
So let me just add, I originally reviewed them with Frank. And I had some tweaks based on what we'd done on the DPW. Largely, they had carried that language over. I was concerned primarily about protecting the roofs, limiting the indemnity language that they require on the host, the parties that the town would agree to indemnify, and thirdly, that if they flip the project, that anybody would be as creditworthy as they are. That's been my experience with the problem with these solar things in Franklin. They agreed to all that. I then raised the issue. The school council had apparently already reviewed it with Mike LaFrancesca, and I didn't think the language was strong enough in terms of non-interference with the school operations in terms of installation. So I flipped it back to them, and they not only focus on that, they being the schools council, then turn it over to somebody in their office who specializes in solar. And not only did he focus on that, but he went into all over the agreement with all kinds of proposed revisions, and that's what they've been working on. So I had actually signed off because they made the changes I wanted to see.
So if I,
Oh, hold on. Sorry. Mike, can you unmute us? Byron's been talking. Sorry. Thank you, Chris. Sorry, Byron.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yep, now we can. Thank you.
Thank you very much for chatting with. So there's a couple pieces here. Just to be clear, we've been working on the project for quite some time and done our due diligence. We have an agreement that was approved for the DPW building, very similar in nature for the PTA and lease. You know, as Mark indicated, there are some changes that came from the Public Schools Council that we are going through now actively. We are optimistic about concluding those in terms that work certainly for the town and for Select. So we're headed on a good path there. Just based on the time frame, we did want to ask that the vote be made so that the Select Board could sign pending town councils and the town's review and approval of those documents before the end of the year. So the last thing, I'd say two other things. One is in terms of the vote itself, Lake Middle School is a rooftop only project, and Memorial is a canopy project. So I did want to offer that so that is read, it's reflective of top solar project at Lake and a canopy at Memorial. And the last piece is I did see, Christine, the data that you had sent over in that email, and you can speak to it in broad terms. It looks accurate. However, the data is on a dollar per watt basis for a system owner to purchase a system in comparison to the offer for Medfield, where we're providing a PPA rate where Select is actually buying and owning the system, and we're just simply selling the electricity to the town over the term. So the data is for the purchasing of the equipment as opposed to the sale of the electricity. So it's not entirely applicable in this case, is I guess my point on that.
Okay, thank you. Gus, questions?
yeah, so first question I have, has the Energy Committee been involved in reviewing any of this, and do they have a recommendation?
I have been working with Penny on it. I don't know if I don't remember if the full Energy Committee did it. Well, Megan and Hilly have been working on it, so I take that back. Megan and Hilly have been working on this project for the last year and a half. I don't know if they've seen the final PPA. I know Penny has seen it because she's been working with Susan McPhee and Byron on this as well.
Well, then leaving aside whether the entire Energy Committee formally endorsed it, do we have any reason to think that the Energy Committee would have any concerns about how this is being set up?
I don't
Based
know.
on what we know.
No, based on the PPA that we did with the DPW, it's very similar.
Very similar, okay.
Very similar.
Then, and certainly the idea of trying to have this signed in time to get the credits, I think that's a given, so it's in favor of that. The only piece of this process that you're proposing that doesn't exactly make sense to me is if we vote to sign it tonight, not having seen it or reviewed it, we still will have to see and review it before we sign it.
Yes.
So my inclination, if logistically it's feasible for us, I'm around, I'm not sure about the two of you, given that the process is going to have us reviewing it before we sign it anyway,
Yep.
I would say, let's have that Zoom meeting after we've reviewed it. But right now, from everything I'm hearing tonight, that's not because I think there's any, from what you've said, Mark, and I don't think there's any reason why we need to be worried. It's just, if we're going to have to do that anyway before we sign it, then it makes more sense to vote on it after we've actually reviewed
So,
it.
Byron, do you think you will have this finished with the schools council by next Wednesday or Thursday? Hold on,
Wait a minute.
we have you on mute, hold on.
Thank you. I feel confident that we will. I will certainly, I know that it is a very high priority for us. And I'm confident that we will by based on how we're tracking, I do have to confirm that with town council, but I'm optimistic that we would have the final form by next week.
Okay.
So I mean,
I'm fine.
Why we do it
I actually
that
offered
way?
that to Christine earlier
Yeah.
tonight, that if we need to get together, I'm around, easily for Zoom.
All right, so Byron, why don't you and I work tomorrow? We can come up with a date and time for Thursday.
Thank you very much. I'm very grateful for the committee's, the select board's review and assistance with seeing this through the finish line. Thank you.
great. Thank you, Byron.
Thank you for your help, sir.
So no motion.
No motion
We'll-
here.
Okay.
I will send out a message, probably tomorrow. We'll finalize after I talk to Byron to make sure, we'll be good to go for Thursday.
Okay.
So-
Thursday will work for the three of you, just so we can focus on
Mhm. Which Thursday,
next Thursday.
next week,
It's
not,
the
not
20
day after tomorrow.
No,
week
no,
from
no,
a
I'm
day
sorry, a
after.
week from Thursday.
Yeah, that's fine, yep.
Okay.
So in general, Gus, to follow up on your question about the Energy Committee, I can relate that from many discussions, the Energy Committee has been focused on the fact that this needs to get done by year end to qualify, and has wanted
Yeah.
it done by year end.
Yep. Well, I don't think that's up for debate.
No, I just think that, the
Yep.
one thing I hear, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna get a good contract out of this, right? That everyone is motivated to sign. I'm hoping that no one's going to play any games and push it out, and all of a sudden it's not ready to be signed until January 2nd, and we leave something on the table. That's not cool either. So I think everyone is motivated to get this done by the 31st. Okay.
Our next item 15, vote to sign the consent letters authorizing T-Mobile and AT&T to replace equipment at the Mount Nebo Water Tower. Questions, Gus?
Nope.
Eileen?
That was reasonable.
Straightforward. Motion to sign the consent letters authorizing T-Mobile and AT&T to replace equipment at the Mount Nebo Water Tower.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, aye. Number 16, vote to sign letter of support from Massachusetts Historical Commission for Medfield State Hospital Trinity Financial Redevelopment Project. Questions, Gus?
No questions.
Eileen?
Pretty straightforward. Nope, we're good to go.
I'm good too. Can we have a motion?
Motion to sign the letter of support to Massachusetts Historical Commission for Medfield State Hospital Trinity Financial Redevelopment Project.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, aye. Number 17, in red, vote to approve $4,579.13 in Treasury American Rescue Plan Act funds for the installation of a counter shutter for the town clerk's office.
So
Gus? Well,
I'm
Chris,
pres-
thank
oh,
you.
Sorry, I'm presenting this on behalf of Marion. These counter shutters are being encouraged by the state for ballot security. Due to COVID, the number of mail-in ballots that we have has exceeded the places we have for storage of them. And due to the fact that they need to be kept in a secure location, if you can't fit them all in the vault, then the state is suggesting that you have this counter that will roll down, that will keep the office locked. So right now, if Marion locks her office, you could just jump across the counter. So this will eliminate that possibility. She was going to come and speak to you tonight, but she had a prior commitment, and we need to decide on this ASAP because so many towns have signed up to do them. Medway just signed their agreement, and so did Westwood, that they are booking people out to end of February already. So we want to get in as soon as possible to get it done.
Sounds good to me.
Gus?
Sorry. Yep.
Eileen?
Sounds good to me.
It sounds like an excellent idea to me. I've been sort of concerned for a long time, actually, about how open all of the offices are downstairs on the first floor. So I think this is a good thing.
So can we use it for a backup lockup if the
Yep.
police department gets full? and-
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
The
so
next time
motion-
there's a Medfield Day, they'll lock you up there, Gus.
Can
All right,
keep
motion-
people.
And I don't know, you didn't
You
bail.
need to be there. You're the one that bailed me out last
you-
time.
Yeah, I know, but you didn't bail me out, so I'm not sure that I'll bail you out this time. Can we have a motion, please? I have,
Yes, I'm trying here. So motion to vote to approve $4,579.13 in treasury ARPA funds for the installation of a counter shutter for the town clerk's office.
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, aye. Citizen comments, we seem to have none.
We don't have any tonight, but I just want to point out that Bill Massaro is missing tonight's meeting because the electrical service was ripped from his house by a tree. We talked at length today, and he apologized he can't be here, and he wishes everybody a very happy holiday season. He will see us in January, and he'll watch the recorded meeting when he gets his electricity
I'm
back.
certain of that.
I was gonna say, it's shocking to look out and there's actually nobody in the room with us.
Unprecedented. We did have one for Takara. He just didn't
Yeah.
stay to the end.
But he left very
He didn't
early.
realize how much fun our meetings are.
Consent agenda is blank. Meeting minutes.
I only reviewed the first one because I had intermittent power today, and so when
I
I
got
had
them
it,
all
I could do it. So I've got
motivated.
August 22nd, I'm ready with the other two, I'm not.
All right, why don't we hold them all and we'll do them all at the same time then. Town administrator updates.
So I have a few things. First, I really want to thank police, fire, DPW, building department for all their work during this storm. You know, it was not predicted to be as bad as it was, and we have been inundated with calls. Those of you saw that picture, we actually had an officer in a cruiser and a tree fell down, so it was quite a busy day. Causeway Street is closed today. They have been working around the clock. We had to post details because we could not get Eversource into town yesterday. They're dealing with Rentham and Millis, who have tremendous more outages than we are. We did have, as of 5 o'clock tonight, we still have 17 residents who don't have power. We have opened the public safety building for people who would like to get warm. It's going to be cold tonight. If you need to charge your iPhones, iPads, whatever you need, it's going to be open 24 hours. So if anybody needs that, if you want to spread the word, we would appreciate that. And thank you also to the library staff. They had a very full house today, I believe, of both Medfield and Millis residents.
Wow.
So thank you to the library staff for handling the unexpected patrons they had today. So, and appreciate them welcoming all of our surrounding residents into town. So that was very nice.
Chris, how did the downed electrical line that wasn't getting taken care of?
Maplewood,
Maplewood?
yeah, we couldn't get somebody out until about 11:30 last night, so we had to post a detail on Maplewood, and there was some damage done to the street because the fire was burning that, or arcing, as the chief has told me, most of the day yesterday, so.
I think, can I
we
just
would-
can I ask another question? It sounded like the chief was saying that they were getting a lot of requests for assistance with flooded basements as well.
They are, and they've been trying to help people where they can. We have a limited number of, portable pumps, but we have been trying to help people. We would like to really caution people not to go around the barricades. We had some issues yesterday of people who went around the barricades and got stuck, and we had to pull public safety personnel to rescue people who had blatantly disregarded closed road signs. So we would just appreciate everybody just respecting that, especially now that Eversource is going to be in town over the next day. There's going to be some more road closures as they
Well, and
continue to
violations
clean
will
up.
be issued as well, right? So people need
Correct.
to realize when it says do not enter, do not enter.
Yes, and Causeway Street is flooded and has been closed, and we urge people to avoid trying to cross that. We don't recommend it.
Oh,
So is it getting close on 109 then or not? The flooding?
I have not been today. It hasn't been closed for flooding on 109 yet.
It's
I
high,
noticed
but
it
I
was-
don't think it's
high,
gonna-
but I don't think it's
not
gone
going
over
too
the
good.
road yet.
but
Yeah.
Causeway's horrible. Causeway.
Causeway, I have some pictures. Causeway is getting worse as
Always
we go.
surprised.
Yeah,
Um,
but it's designed, as you were saying earlier, it's designed, that's where people send the water. It's designed to do that, so.
Right. Our last update from Eversource is that power should be restored to everybody by 11 p.m. tomorrow evening. So we anticipate another day. And I know most of the crews have gone to some of the other towns that were hit harder than us. So
Oh, yeah.
And we were up to over 1,000 households without service at one point, I
Yes.
think you said.
um,
That's a quarter of the town, almost.
yeah, it's a significant amount. I mean, at 9 o'clock this morning, Millis was still at 91% without power. I think they're down to 21%
You know,
now. And
They were on the news along with Situate.
And
as
I
the-
believe Rentham was hit extremely hard as well. So I know I had a hard time getting home last night. So
Yeah, well, Framingham got nailed too, yeah, so.
and 27 was closed in Sherburne for most of the night. I don't think it reopened until this morning.
I
So
had to take my car to Millis around 11 o'clock, and that turned out to be a bad time to be doing that, because when I was trying to come home, 109 was closed.
right, you couldn't-
So I decided, well, I'll go 115 then. 115 was closed, and I said, well,
So
now
you
what
had to
do
go around all the barriers in the code.
yeah, if you went around the barriers, you'd have been totally fine. Couple other announcements. Just a reminder that the warrant closes on January 9th. You don't have a meeting that night, but we are closing it on January 9th. We had originally scheduled to close it on January 9th. That is the date we have gone with. So people can turn it into my office by the close of business on the 9th.
So my only concern with that is we still need to sort out some warrants. Like
Yep.
so,
You're fine. Oh,
Well,
so
like-
what I would do is, because those were pending articles that you had considered,
Yeah.
I still have them on the list, and you can withdraw them if you decide to.
okay,
Those-
since I haven't seen the
Yeah,
warrants,
yeah.
I just want to make sure.
Those horses are in the barn.
Yes.
Okay.
They're like the wrong horses, but they're in the barn.
They're barking actually from those.
And then Trinity Financial will be coming in February to give an update on, obviously you just voted to sign their Mass Historic Commission letter. They have been quite busy on the site for the last month, coordinating with the police department. The National Park Service had them doing some more inventory on the windows. So they've been on site. If anybody's seen them up there, that's what they're working on now. But they'll be in the beginning of February to give you a full update on where they are.
Excellent.
And that's it.
Thank you. Gus?
Let's see, for quiet time of the year, had a few things. We already talked about the Arbor Day. So it's, those are one of those fun things that one of us gets to do for the, just, you're out there, except for the DPW guys, you're out in the cemetery, proclaiming something to, like, well, at least the people who are there. So,
Yeah.
but it's always a nice thing that we do. And there's interesting trees that are getting put up throughout the town as a result of our being a green community and Arbor Day community.
It was fun the year that I think it was the Girl Scout troop did the trees in front of the post office, so they all showed
Yeah.
up.
Yep. So that was a fun part. I'm also happy to just point out to any of you who missed the game that Army beat Navy on Saturday by a very close at last. Last
Amazing.
play is a classic Army Navy game where Navy was trying to get in, and it was a matter of inches. And we won't talk about the bad call by the ref about that punt that Army should have been given on the 5-yard line on Navy, but outside of that, it all worked out well. So Lee Treadway, if you're out there, I just want to let you know that. In case you missed the game.
I'm assuming Lee's Navy then, is
He's
he?
Navy, Naval
Yeah,
Academy.
all
Yep,
right.
yep. But despite that, he's actually a pretty good guy.
You may not be welcome at Legion events.
No, there's some Army guys at the Legion. I can tell you, so far, I have people get my back. Last Wednesday was the Norfolk County Advisory Board meeting, so that was pretty much a straightforward meeting. I did talk. I don't think did I close?
We talked.
I kind of have to close the loop. I guess Frank, basically,
Yep.
I haven't got anything further on the ARPA funds.
They called Frank immediately the
They
next
did.
day. Yep.
Oh, okay, so
He's working
maybe
through
he's
it with
got
them.
something
Mhm.
more.
Yep.
The issue there is that there's some money that we would like to be able to use for the interface service, which is probably about as appropriate a use of ARPA funds as we could possibly think of. The problem is because they're federal funds, the county sees itself, probably properly, I think,
Yep.
as responsible for ensuring that the funds that came in from the federal government for our, emergency relief are used properly. And I actually have a feeling that they're not totally familiar with federal contracting requirements. So the idea that you would just take a chunk of money and hand it to an organization is the thing that they're trying to make sure they don't run afoul of the federal government with. And I'm
I
hoping.
think
they
we're
do.
going to work through it.
Okay, gonna work through it.
What's the interface fee up to now, Chris?
About, I think
40,000?
this year was 36,000. We anticipate 41 next year.
Wow.
And
Because it was around 10,
It
11
was 10 when we started, but that's also based on our usage.
usage.
Yeah.
That's the good news, that it's,
It's working very well for us. which
yeah,
is why we're
if people
working
don't know
hard
about
with
it, it's a number you can call and get a referral to a mental health provider.
Right. And
Interface.
The thing that I've liked about what they've said they've done is that it's not like somebody on a phone with a listing and go, oh, well, where do you live? Okay, go call this person. But they actually put some effort into trying to make sure that there's sort of an interpersonal match. So the person you have
Yeah.
helping you is a person you want to have helping you. I'm guessing that that's pretty important, especially in that.
Well, and
area.
I think the insurance too is a big part of the discussion, so.
So that was that, and then as well as you two, last Thursday, going to the public meeting on the MBTA communities. I made the comment at the meeting itself that I'm still hopeful and optimistic that we will get some significant credit for what we're doing up at the state hospital. But the drill or the exercise that we went through in terms of literally trying to figure out where you would put the zoning helped me realize that it wasn't quite the devastating draconian requirement that we would destroy our entire downtown. It's actually, there's some logical places to pick. So that was actually kind of happy to see that. The only other thing that I'll comment, I didn't bring my actual letter, but I know all three of us got a letter around the lighting and the decorations and the request for the menorah on the Baxter Park. Only because I couldn't reply to the two of you. I replied to everybody else, so the letter
Me
exists.
too.
The sensitivity that I had, because I can tell you this at a public meeting, and part of what my letter said was that we've stayed clear of getting dragged into certain kinds of difficulties by keeping out of sort of specific, whether in this case it would be specific faith issues. Mainly because at some point you ruin the whole thing. If everybody in the world, to include the satanic church, suddenly says, wait a minute, you're doing this on public property, we want our square, then you destroy the whole thing. So I basically said I appreciated, there's a lot of people who've had a lot of comments about this year's lighting. I kind of looks like a little bit like a Charlie Brown tree there on the tree lighting night. But I think there's a number of people in town that at least right now sound like they're prepared to volunteer with Memo to try to help and spruce up what we do at Baxter Park, which is a great thing. I basically said in my letter, I wouldn't be supporting increased, decorations that are specific to particular faiths, just because it seems to me that the trend in this town, the community has gone toward getting rid of all that. We don't have spaghetti and Santa anymore. It's spaghetti and snowballs. I'm not sure. I was asking Christine, the Santa and the sleigh with Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer flying across the trees, was that just the age of the lights, or is that also, but down there? I think we've got an overall community that's moving in a secular direction. And I recognize that. I'm not happy about it exactly, but that was my view on this, and I made it clear that was my personal view, but I'm guessing that this will maybe not come up for another year, but it'll come up, and I figured I'd share it now while it was fresh in my head.
Anything else?
That's it.
Eileen?
All right, so I'll start with what you brought up, just to follow that train of thought. So I did receive Samantha's letter. I did not respond only because I know we had talked about this. It might have just been Christine and myself. And so I didn't want to misspeak, and I knew that Christine was on vacation. I've had a chance to touch base with Christine just to clarify some things that I wanted to make sure I was interpreting correctly. So personally,
I just want to, if I may interject, the open meeting law issue on this is really kind of a problem. It's okay to report what you've
A problem for us tonight
tonight.
in terms of what we talk about. So we have to be
Right.
careful of what we talk
Because
about
it's not on
tonight.
the agenda. So it's one thing to, report back correspondence or whatever, and even that goes over the line, but at some point, if you actually want to get into a substantive discussion, my recommendation is to put it on a future agenda.
okay, only because it was an email. So sometimes I comment on emails that we get from citizens.
Right, but this is gonna has the potential to morph into a deliberation.
So the reason of so I'm reporting what I said. I actually don't think we should get into deliberation now. It's too late for this year anyway. And if there's a deliberation, if there's anything deliberated, it'll come up in a year from now. So my intent here was to report what I said, because the unfortunate thing about the open meeting law is everybody in the world can know what the three of us think, except for the three of us.
No, this is helpful because I again, we don't copy one another on emails, and you don't see when I respond to
Right,
citizens.
right.
And so I did not respond to her because I did not want to speak out of turn in the sense that, and so I won't state my position, but I will reach out to her tomorrow, now that I've had a chance to catch up with Christine. And then I can report back to you next week. I've had a chance to say. So thank you for bringing that up. And then I too attended the MBTA planning session, which I thought was great. It was really good turnout. The Lego blocks that we all played with, I think, was a very nice exercise to give people a feel for where we could be potentially designating some space and not really changing a dramatic look for the immediate downtown area. Now, there were some parcels that were on the outskirts of town, heading closer to train stations. Could be an interesting conversation down the road, but it was just great dialogue. I attended the Affordable Housing Trust meeting last Thursday. Again, we're talking about the group homes. I know that Trinity's reached out to Newton to ask about some more questions regarding what the requirements are and working with, because what Trinity is talking to Newton and Susan Sino is what they could be doing within structures. Like could they do a cluster of 3 bedrooms in one building and then potentially do separate apartments designated under the group home tag. Trinity's at least been open, and when I say push back, they came back with some questions, I think just the end of last week or beginning of this week, and Newton forwarded that. Attended the Medfield Cares About Prevention monthly meeting. In that meeting, we had a chance to wish Mary Haas well. She's moving on to an opportunity in Newton. She's been phenomenal. I think she's been with Medfield, Christine, 4 or 5 years. She's been awesome.
Yeah, and this is her 5th year.
Yeah, she's fantastic. So they then had little cookies and coffee back at the outreach office. So I had a chance to walk over there with Rooney. She's just so nice, and just wish her well over Newton. Newton's lucky to get her. I do want to do a shout out to Paul McKechnie's group. I think the state hospital, night and day from what it looked like 4 months ago. And it's important because you just brought this up, Christine, where we're having people go up and work on the buildings, and it looks good. They've done a very nice job cleaning it up and getting it ready for the winter. So as we face wherever we're going to face, hopefully come March, it'll look good. And then I too want to give a shout out to our police and fire and all the different volunteers that have been out for endless hours. The image of the police car having a tree across it really sent home the message that, and then Mo driving around yesterday. I mean, you did not want to be on the roads. And where I'm on Metacomet, I was in a cocoon because we didn't have any crazy trees right near our house. We lost power when they recircuited the electricity, but it was only for 10 or 20 minutes max. Then I hear what some of these other families are going through and what our town employees are doing and driving around and putting themselves in danger. I just want to say thank you very much, and very much, I'm glad everyone's safe. So, thank you. Pete?
Anything else? That's it? So I'll start with the MBTA Community Act public forum that was held that both of you have talked about. And I would just relate to citizens that it was at the public safety building, the whatever they call the room, that's the community room on the first floor. And there were tables set up, 2 of the tables were created by pushing 2 of the tables that are there lined up across the room together, so that there were 4 people at a table, and there were probably 8 to 10 tables, and each table had its own map. And the group of people at that table were asked then to figure out where in town that table wanted to put the MBTA zoning, which is the 50 acres of 15 units per acre as of right density that we're required to enact by this time in a year. And I was fascinated because the group of people that I ended up with didn't want any of it in the downtown. And so that our group dispersed it all over the town. The planning board, I think, had done I think their thoughts were the ones that were outlined on the plans that we all got, and they basically ran the zoning along 109 and 27 for the most part, and up around 27 and West Street. But there were obviously clearly very different ways of skinning the cat, and so that it'll, and I had the same reaction that you did, Gus, that it's not as daunting once you sit down and look at it and start working with it. So even if the state hospital isn't our solution, that I think that we can figure out a way that works. Secondly, we've talked a lot about the outreach about the menorah. I got involved and I got the email, and I did email back to this young woman who's a 9th grader, and I just commend Samantha for reaching out to us and bringing this issue before us. And as Mark has said, we can't really deliberate about it tonight, but I think that I certainly, I had a back and forth with Samantha, and I asked Mark to actually chime in, and Mark educated me about the law, and then other people, I'd asked other people and realized that Boston has a menorah, Wellesley has a menorah, there are lots of menorahs on public land all over the place, so more to follow on that issue. I had a Medfield Foundation meeting last week, and also an Energy Committee meeting and in the past week, and we had a report back on the Green Communities Act, and the indication from Susan McPhee is that we're saving monies on energy because of the Green Communities Act, things that we're doing. The Energy Committee, I would say at this point, the meetings are very dense. There's just a lot of information. There, a lot of different people reporting, but each report is just very full of data and information. And we go through a lot of reports. Penny's trying to figure out how to have a sort of a planning meeting at some point, which would be good, because there isn't a lot of time during our regular meetings. The last thing is yes, Mary Haas. I got to go to the farewell party for Mary Haas, and she has just been a joy to work with over the past 5 years, and it is unfortunate that she lives in Newton and she has a job where she told me she's going to walk 3 blocks to work. So
It's awesome.
great for her, but a big loss for us. So, and we're at the point where we're reapplying for the federal SAMHSA grant that basically brought Mary to town. So we're hoping that we'll get another 5 years of that type of prevention worker in town, because I think she's been very helpful to the town. So, and that's it for me. Anything else?
No, that's all I have to see.
Early dinner for the select board members then.
Absolutely.
Well, happy holidays to all.
Yes.
And motion.
Yes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, aye.
And you all a good night.
You know?
Oh, thank you, sir.
The beauty of starting at 6 people, look at that.
Yes.
Yeah.
That clock is wrong. It is 7:20.
Yeah, that's
I don't want
right.
you to think
Yeah.
you did that in an hour and 5 minutes.
Right, right.
You want me to bring you a battery next time?
Of course, it may take you 20 minutes.